Well, welcome to the Business Owner Spotlight. My name is Tanner O'Brien. I am a senior partner here at ActionCOACH in Central Texas, and I am so excited to chat here with my next guest, Yagub Rahimov, and learn a little bit about his company and what they're up to. So with that, I'm not going to go too much further in. I'm going to turn this over to you, sir, and let you kind of introduce yourself, your business, and kind of your background or journey to what's led you to getting here today. So Yagub, welcome. And why don't you kick us off with a little bit of background about you?
Certainly. Thank you very much for inviting. I appreciate being here. So my name is Yagub Rahimov. Definitely not original Texas. I've actually I initially got stuck here in Austin because of pandemic, March of 2020. Prior to coming here, I've lived in 20 plus countries. And generally speaking, when people ask me who I am or what I've done in the past, I ask them to Google me because there is more in there than I can literally tell. But I'm one of the earliest people who created affiliate modules for retail trading. This was back in 2009, which enabled me to start my very first company, Target Signals, that got acquired a bit after. In 2009, I was completely accidentally was introduced to Bitcoin by Doug Casey. So I ended up buying Bitcoin literally off the street to some junkie almost, I would call it. It was a hacker of a type I found on a forum. And in 2010, I started a company with my college mate, Marina Burushkina, called 7 Markets. Our goal was to bring digital marketing for retail trading and insurance industry, which made us one of the very first pioneers in the insurance industry, definitely in Europe, whoever did marketing, social media marketing for insurance industry, because and now everyone thinks like social, whatever, everyone knows it, but back in 2010, no one really did it. This company, we grew it as one of the world's top 3 in our niche, retail trading, meaning FX market and crypto market, where we worked with elites only. And when we got stuck here in the US in 2020, the word got out that 7 Market CEO isn't coming back. And that, despite I thought that it's going to kill the company, it turned out to be something completely the opposite. And 7 Markets Group got acquired by multiple private equity firms. And in 2021, the February frost, if you are in Texas, you have lived through it, or you have suffered, rather to call it. Yes. I didn't know that Texas actually gets winter. Finally speaking, now I know, and I'm prepared fully. My car got completely destroyed. A new car under factory warranty, and the dealer pulled a force majeure clause saying that we cannot fix it, you should have used blah, blah, and so on and so forth. And I wrote a review on one of the top review portals just to find out that the next day the review was deleted. When I questioned them, they banned my account. And that's where Tested Web as an inception point started. So I think that's a good way of starting it.
Awesome. That is fantastic. I absolutely love your background. Just the amount of experience and such that you've been through. We could spend days diving into that stuff and learning more. And I know we don't have that time here today, but no, that's really cool. You know, a lot of our audience and who we tend to work with and will view a lot of this material are business owners that are on maybe their first or second business, still, you know, building that up, getting ready to potentially sell it or have it be acquired, that sort of thing down the road. But you know, it'd be interesting maybe to have some deeper conversation down the road on some of that background. But tell me a little bit more about Tested Web, and when you, as you're going through that company, who is this company for? Like, who is the best target market that if you could choose to be a customer of your product or service, who would that be? What would that look like?
So we are a B2B2C. But before we start, who is it for? Let me ask you some question. Have you bought anything online recently?
Yes, almost every
Uh,
day.
Almost every day, right? But did you know that 12 cents on every dollar spent in this country is being lost to scammers using fake reviews, stealing the money from people? 12
Wow.
cents on every dollar. This is a national statistics from the Consumer Bureau, Federal Consumer Bureau, I believe the sources. This is an insane number. It's $59 billion a year. And we stand against fake reviews. And we believe that fake reviews are fake reviews is an industry of its own. Like 59 billion, are you kidding me? There are countries like there's almost like a half a continent which doesn't make $59 billion altogether. And for us, we believe that fake reviews have victims. Like it says on my back, it's fake reviews may look real, they cause real, maybe fake, but they cause real damage, right?
Mm.
And those damages are both on consumer end as well as on business end. Now, there are certain review portals who feed and breathe on fake reviews because it's their bread and butter. And fortunately speaking, the federal government is waking up for it, saying that, you know what, fake is illegal and you got to change your mind. And for us, when we look into it, we have identified a few major problems in the reviews industry. The very first problem is the ownership. The consumer who spent time to purchase something or go through the problem or challenge experience spends again the time to write, and then he does not own the reviews. Just
Mm.
like what happened to me. With one click of a button, a review portal decides to delete it because it's their property. And on the other side, for businesses, there is no transparency. If I pay you, my rating will go higher, and if I stop paying you, my rating will come down. What's the reasoning behind? Why do you keep fake positive reviews, or why do you push fake positive reviews, or why do you push fake negative reviews? Fake is not, by the way, one or another. There are both sides and multiple varieties of it. So with that being said, to answer your question, that web is for both consumers who want to get real, genuine, reliable reviews, which 78% people are. And it's also for everyday businesses who wants to be able to compete without being dependent on their marketing budget or advertisement budget or review subscription package that they are getting. We want to give fair competing ground for everybody and complete protection for consumer with the ownership of their own experiences. And if the consumer is writing it, generating the content, we also enable them to be part of our moderation structure. Instead of us doing the moderation for everything, we generated an AI-powered automated moderation. And on top of it, we are giving the consumer the moderation ability via smart contracts. We use actually blockchain to do that. It's a peer moderation happening. Since the user owns their content, they play part of the moderation. Why shouldn't they get compensated for it too? But it's not for writing good reviews or writing bad reviews. It's for their time contributions that they're doing. Every action is rewardable and every illicit action is punishable. And there is no human being inside deciding it. We do everything via smart contract. And we probably are the only blockchain company that anyone will find out that does use every single bits and pieces as benefits of blockchain without touching a single bit of cryptocurrency in the middle. So we have no crypto involved. Payments are in US dollars for people. So the 60, 70-year-old grandma, grandpa doesn't need to know how to use a crypto wallet. It's their content. They can play out of it. They can rely it, and they get paid for their contribution.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that is just absolutely fascinating. I love that, you've found a pain point, a challenge, and have taken, upon yourself to find a solution, build a solution to it, and really take that forward. So that's fascinating and super exciting, truly. So I'm curious, as it sounds like it might be a bit of a theme as you've kind of gone through your journey, kind of finding different pain points and providing solutions and creating those along the way. Has that kind of always been what you wanted to do as you were, kind of growing up and looking at what do I want to do with my life? Kind of, is this where you thought you'd be, 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Look, I don't come from an entrepreneurial family background, or I wasn't born into the family of riches. I was born in post-Soviet messed up country in almost a civil war. And I believe that unique kind of experience made me who I am today. Because when you are in a challenging environment and you are growing into it, when you know that, if you don't have a job today, you're going to be starving tonight, it makes you think different. And thanks God, my family did all the best for me to have the life that I have today. I've studied, I never had to work as a child, although I keep on making more money than my dad does ever since I'm 10-year-old. But my mind is always built on not chasing the money. I don't look into money as a goal or destination. Sure, as a result of the good activities or problem-centric solutions that we end up creating, we always make money, but it's never about chasing the money. Like even at Tested Web, we did not start it because of money. I started it initially as a protest platform. I wanted to make a big noise out there to make the federal government look into it. What has happened to me personally should not have happened. It's not right. And it speaks to itself, like we went out in Austin City and spoke to random 1,000 businesses. Every single one of them complained that they hate the current review platforms, but they cannot do without them. And at the same time, we spoke to 1,000 like random people off the street, mostly, of course, because it was easier to go to UT campus, more people during the pandemic, literally, and still be able to speak with them. And during that time, even 78% of them said that they don't trust, 79%, they do not trust the reviews. So you see that there is a problem. It's almost, criminal not to have a solution for it if you can create a solution.
That is just an amazing outlook. And I appreciate that. And I know so many of our listeners and viewers will appreciate that mindset of just what you've got kind of moving forward and how you approach it. So thank you for that. I'm curious with, just speaking on challenges in general, we know that in most cases, the journey in entrepreneurship or business ownership is almost never smooth. There's always ups and downs and challenges and things like that to overcome. Along your journey, what has been kind of a business related challenge that you've had to overcome along the way?
So the biggest challenge, honestly, I had was the cost of inflation. Like it was a real true, if someone says that they are a business owner and they haven't felt it, and I don't know which universe they are living in. So we did an exit. Sure, we could afford getting quite a bit of high-paid engineers, etc. on board. But for me, no matter where you are, being humble is a key. It just didn't make sense to pay $240,000 for one person who barely have some sort of experience to be hired as an engineer. So my biggest challenge was finding reliable people who did not just chase that crazy money right away that they could go ahead and get from Facebook and other parties that that we eventually compete with by means of the talent targeting. Nowadays, we don't, I guess, need to anymore compete with as there are more layoffs happening. So, and for it, I had to be a bit creative. So I turned my head a bit to Eastern European countries and started negotiating different countries, like saying, your country has a great talent. I would consider having our tech hub in your country if you were to give us tax credits or subsidies or this and that. And we ended up having one country giving us 6 months, 75% subsidy on whatever the salaries that we would spend. It enabled me really scale faster and hire finally, 15, 20 people out there and go faster. And as a result, we actually have excelled immensely. We have so far developed 4 AI solutions that everyone projected that it would take us 3 years or more. And we ended up doing it in less than 7, 8 months since April, actually, till now. And, sometimes we end up being in a weird, uncomfortable environment, and it's okay. It's uncomfortable for that location, just like when you're lying down, your pillow is uncomfortable. You don't complain that my pillow is uncomfortable. You kind of try to shape shift it and make it comfortable. And we founders are the same. We are in the bed with our own comfort zone in a way, but we forget that the bed that we are in, it's full of spikes. We just need to shapeshift it in a way so that those spikes don't hurt us. Sometimes you need to cover it up. Sometimes you need to shapeshift your pillow, give a call, and in most cases, the biggest enemy comes to our ego. That it's always hard to ask for help, and if you don't ask, you don't get, right? So for me, it was one of the biggest, learning curves in a way that, because several markets when we exited, it was an established company. We had everything we needed. And Tesla, we started from scratch. We had nothing, right? So I had forgotten the benefit of asking. So I had to reinvent myself again, asking the different people, strangers and friends. And to my surprise, actually, some strangers came to a better help than some close contact. And that was a big surprise because for all of these, friends, I've always been there to help and so on, and I still am there. But it was quite a surprise to see that a stranger would run to your help without whatever your challenge is, faster than your contacts you've been helping. So asking is never going to be painful.
That's excellent. And yeah, I actually had the question on here of kind of what's been your biggest lesson or learning throughout your journey. Would you say that is kind of the biggest learning that you've had, or is there anything else you would add to that?
Storytelling, I think learning is the biggest one. Like, we all have stories, we all have our opinions, but how do you convey that story? It makes a big difference. So, I do accept that I'm new in this country. I've lived in 20 plus country, and not just because I'm here. By all means, I have never seen such business-friendly country as the US ever before. I don't really, I believe that it was my destiny to be stuck here, and I appreciate the Lord for being here. So the other learning curve that I went through was, the American basically way of thinking in a way, and trying to live with it and so on. But so far, I think the biggest learning curve is the storytelling towards different audiences that that easily conveys what we are doing with their need in mind. So that I believe is the most important thing. Because in here, no one knows who I am, right? Even most of your audience, they don't have a clue. I've never really targeted the US market before, right? It's very easy to be in an environment where everyone knows you and pick up a phone. Hey, I'm coming, and the red carpet being for you, or people easily saying, "Come, the coffee is waiting for you." But when you are somewhere and no one knows you, you have to reinvent yourself, and it all comes down to tell the correct story without any lies. Do not fake it until you make it or whatever. Just be yourself. Tell the truth the way it is. Explain why it is you that's going to be the solution, or what that can help them. And the third part, do accept that you don't know what you don't know. Then everything will fall. What's the worst case that can happen? What's the worst thing that can ever happen out of a meeting with someone? And they'll say that they're not interested. Sure. How many I'm not interested have we had in our lives?
Love that. Well, sir, I want to make sure that we are respectful of time, because I know we've been continuing to chat here. I'd like to kind of finish on one final question, but before I do, how can others get in contact with you or learn a little bit more about your business? Kind of floor is yours. How, for those that are watching this at home, how can they find out more about you and learn a little bit more about your business?
So to be in touch with me personally, the fastest way is Twitter. So Twitter, Y Rahimov, my initial, my last name. I'm on it at least 8-9 times a day. For company, by the way, let's give a gift for your own audience as well. Like we previously discussed, everyone who is listening to this podcast, let's give each one of them $2,000 tested web credit. That's approximately 6 months of premium access to tested web, of course, applicable to be used on tested web. It's not a cash handout to anyone. And they can use Action 2000 as a coupon code. All they need is get on testedweb.com and press whitelist. In the whitelist, they'll need to fill their details and add their company. And when they add the company, the referral, they just need to write Action 2000. And as soon as we are going live end of the month, they'll get $2,000 worth of credit applied to their account. They can use it the way they want, however they want. It's all we want is spread the word. If you too are fed up with fake reviews, come join forces with us and let's eliminate it together. It's us together. We can make it. Divided, we will fail.
Beautiful. I appreciate that. I know the audience will greatly appreciate it. So just to reiterate that for everyone, go check out the website, go onto it. Action 2000 is the promo code there. We'll have kind of the notes in the description of the video below, that sort of thing. But no, that is super generous. Appreciate it. Appreciated across the board, I know. So to finish off this interview section here, I love to end on this question. What is most inspiring to you today?
My son. By all means, my son. Like him waking up in the morning and looking at me and saying, "Daddy, are we gonna have a good day?" And that's the most inspiring thing. It just tells me right away that today's the new day. Are we gonna have a good day, guys? Today, let's make a good day together.
Absolutely beautiful. I love that. Having 2 kids of my own, I can totally empathize with that. So that is fantastic. Appreciate it. Well, Yagub, I appreciate you taking the time to be here with us today. Truly much gratitude for sharing your story, letting us peek into kind of your journey and everything that you've gone through. I know that this is going to be a tremendous conversation for others to listen to. So thank you so much for investing the time to be here with us today.
I appreciate being here. Really, thank you.